find local business leaders who kind of have been affected by the coronavirus, and specifically small business leaders, because obviously their business flow has been decreased at least somewhat. So we kind of want to ask them how they've been adjusting to the situation, what kind of message they have for people who'd experience the same situation in the future.
Well, I think it's been really interesting. I've had to come up with questions that we can ask local businesses. That these are businesses that have suffered huge problems. Probably had to lay off some employees. They've had to their like local businesses like restaurants and other stores like that. They've had to shut down. Their sales decreased a lot, and they've been going through a really tough time.
As ours deals with restaurants and the community, a lot of people are struggling as leaders right now, trying to get their businesses back up, with the fear that if they open up completely, COVID is going to come back in another wave.
The pandemic caused by the novel coronavirus has had a worldwide impact. One of the many ways it has affected our community is through education. The virus has closed down schools across the nation, forcing students to move online for the remainder of the 2019 to 2020 school year, and possibly the start of the 2020 to 2021 school year. There are many implications to this change, including a decrease in learning, productivity, and mental health. Analyzing responses from Sage Creek and Carlsbad High, the majority of students struggle with procrastination, mental health, and independent learning. 35.3% of students find it challenging to virtually connect with teachers, and 64.8% of students find online learning more difficult than attending school in person. Ultimately, the students feel that adaptability and communication are most important during these unprecedented times.
As we're remote, that importance of really understanding why we're doing the things that we're doing to help keep student motivation high. Again, when a student's not, students in a classroom are not a captive audience there, it takes a little bit different approach, I think, from both the student end in terms of them engaging in what they're doing, as well as the teacher end in terms of preparation.
Due to the fact that we can't see each other face to face, and it's not like, oh, I can just pop into your classroom and ask you this question. It's time has passed so much before we're able to get things answered. And I think that is the same with my students as well. Very simple conversations just take a really long time to have in this new medium.
I think that moving forward, we will continue to see online school only continue to grow in regards to its structure and the dynamic between the student and the teacher in that virtual world. I think in addition to that it's an opportunity to refine kind of our current practice and what we're doing, as well as expand some of the things that we have not yet even touched on in regards to how to teach in a virtual world.
Mr. Spanier, an English and AVID teacher at Carlsbad High School, pointed out that teachers observe the faces and body language of their students as they enter class, and recognize the importance of checking in on how a student is feeling and doing apart from class content.
No one would have been able to predict that March 13th would be our last day of physical school for the 2019-20 school year, and yet here we are, June of 2020, having to do everything online. A couple of problems that I've been experiencing, and other students as well, is having to deal with procrastination, not having the physical connection with your teacher, and having to teach yourself new concepts. But I think these struggles have just been a part of adapting to this new situation. And because it's unprecedented, everyone is having a learning curve, including our administration and teachers.
The virus, as well as school closures, have impacted both teachers and students in many ways. Teachers have learned to become adaptable to new teaching techniques, as well as innovative ways to give their students feedback virtually. Students have learned that relationships with their teachers are extremely important in order to have educationally beneficial conversations and stable connections. I also learned that with school closures, teachers feel they have lost the majority of their connections with their students, which has left them feeling shut out from the world. Overall, as stated by Mr. Schuweiler, this time has not gone to waste, and if anything, online schooling is now stronger than ever before.